Okay. Good morning, children. So we have got the presentation. If you can see it, there's a KitKat lab presentation. Please, you have to click on the pin button. After when you click it, there will be an option of pin. Please pin yourself to the KitKat lab so you'll be able to see the presentation. Okay. There's a small request during the explanation. Please keep your uh, mics on the mute option only, and do not switch on your videos. What happens that the bandwidth gets affected because of that internet. Yes, and this experiment today, there are going to be some experiments that are going to be performed. So as and when I tell you, you all will perform the experiment, and one by one we'll keep the videos on of the person who is performing the experiments. I hope you all have kept all the materials ready of the items that we had told you all to get along with you for the class today. Okay, so we'll start with our presentation. Uh, we are talking today about chemical reactions. So we say that in nature, we know chemistry is very, very interesting, and we like to see chemical reactions taking place around us. So we say that chemical reactions, yeah. So uh, we say that, okay, wow, there is some chemical reaction happening around us. But now, how to identify that chemical reaction has taken place? Okay. Now, if we go to see, we have got our five senses. That is, we have got eyes, we have got nose, eyes to see, nose to smell, skin to touch, ears to hear, and tongue to taste. Okay. Out of this, uh, anything related to chemical reaction, we cannot really touch things inside. Probably outside you can touch. You cannot taste chemical reactions. You should not taste. Not advisable. Okay. What you can do is you can hear. Smell is also not good because if there are some dangerous gases, you smell them and it can be poisonous, and you could hear. So for us to understand that what are these signs of chemical reactions, we'll study the types of signs that we normally see. Okay, so we'll go to our first slide. Okay, before this, a little brief of what is a chemical reaction. Okay, now if I say I am mixing sugar and water, okay, what happens is that sugar and water is not really a chemical reaction. Okay, sugar mixing in water is not a chemical reaction. This kind of a thing is called as a physical change. It's not a chemical change. When will I say that a chemical reaction has taken place? A chemical reaction will take place only when the chemistry is changing, only when the bonds are changing, only when the molecular structures of the molecules are changing. So whenever I'm mixing water and sugar, nor is the molecular formula of water changing, nor is the chemical formula of sugar going to change. So I say that it is a physical change. Okay. But if supposing you have a iron nail that was opposed to rain for some time, so what will happen is it will catch rust. Now that rust that has developed on the nail is what I call as a chemical reaction, because the formula of iron, that is Fe, is changing and it is becoming Fe2O3. So the formula of iron is going to change. The nail was made of iron and the formula is going to change. So I say it is a chemical reaction. Okay. So how do you identify a chemical reaction? If the molecular structure is changing. Now, by looking at the iron nail, can I say that the molecular formula has changed? I cannot say. If I'm just looking at the iron nail, I can't come to know whether the formula is Fe or the formula is Fe2O3. I won't be able to see the chemical formula visibly with my eyes because those molecules are so small, I can't see the formula. So instead of that, we look out for some signs of chemical reaction. We look what things can indicate whether a chemical reaction has taken place or no. So for us, there are 5 types of changes that we can carry out, that we can identify. Okay. The first is if there is any time production of a gas. If any gas is produced anywhere, you say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. The second change that might happen is production of light. Okay. So if there is, because of some chemical reaction, if light is produced, you say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. If there is a change in the color of the material, okay, if the material whatever was there, the color has changed, you say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. And if sometimes there is, because of reaction between two molecules, if there is some solid material that is produced, which we call as precipitate. Okay, if that is produced, then we call it as a formation of precipitate. That is also a sign of a chemical reaction. Okay, and the last but not the least, if after the chemical reaction has occurred, either the temperature of the vessel in which you are doing, if that is increasing or it is decreasing, means there is an increase in the temperature or there is a decrease in the temperature, then you say that a temperature change will identify whether a chemical reaction has taken place. So, see, production of gas, you can see it with your eyes, okay, and sometimes when gas is produced, you can also hear it also, okay. Production of light also, you can definitely see with your eyes, okay, when light is being produced. Color change also is something that you can see. Formation of precipitate is also what you can see. Only the temperature change is what you can say that you are feeling with your hands. So you say a temperature change has taken place. Okay, so is the concept of chemical reactions, is the concept of, you know, why we need signs clear to every one of y'all. You can please answer me. You can switch on your mics and just tell me yes or no. If yes, then I'll move ahead. If no, then I will explain it once more. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay. So majority of y'all have understood. So we'll go to the next slide. Now we'll study each one in detail. Okay. So let's say production of gas. Okay. Now production of gas is what you are seeing with your eyes. And when the gas is produced, you can also hear, you can hear a hissing sound. You can hear that sound. Okay. So that kind of a change is identifying that a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. So if after a chemical reaction has occurred, after the chemical reaction takes place, you see that there is gas being produced. So here you can see on the left side, I have got 2 test tubes. In the first test tube, there is some solution which is transparent in color like water. It is not water, it is some solution that is transparent in color. In the second material, in the second test tube, I have got a solid. When both of these things I am mixing together, I can get the test tube which is on the right side, that is a product. So my left 2 test tubes are the reactant, which is forming my product which is on the right side, the test tube, which I can see with what you can see that bubbles are coming out. Can you see on the top? There are all bubbles out there. So this identifies that a chemical change has occurred there. Okay. So now what do scientists do? Whenever they're mixing 2 chemicals, they will look for out for some signs like this. For example, they have mixed two chemicals and they saw that now there is gas being produced. Now they will go into the details of it. That what is the formula of the first chemical, what is the formula of the second chemical, when they are reacting, what product is what they can form. This entire change is then being studied further. Okay, so that is what you say. Production of gas is going to identify whether a chemical reaction has taken place or no. Okay, next slide. So for this, we are going to do one experiment which you all are going to perform. What are you going to do? You all are going to take a small glass. In that glass, you all are going to add, say, around 1/4 glass of vinegar. Okay, and just for fun, you want to have fun with it. You can add some watercolors to it. You can add whatever color you want. You can add to that vinegar. What will happen is that vinegar will become whatever color you have added. If you don't have any color at home, you don't have any watercolors, you can simply use turmeric powder, haldi powder. So whatever your vinegar is will turn yellowish in color. Okay. Now what do you do is, now this is my first reactant, that is my vinegar. Now to my vinegar, I am going to add the second chemical, that is I'm going to add baking soda. So I'll be adding baking soda, 1 spoon of baking soda to my reaction mixture, that is to my vinegar, my first reactant. My first reactant is vinegar, my second reactant is baking soda. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to take a glass. In the glass, you will be adding, see, it's exactly like what you can see on the right side. You'll take a glass. In the glass, you will be adding vinegar. Just for fun, you're going to add any watercolor. If you don't have watercolors, you simply have turmeric powder at home. You can add turmeric powder inside it. So your vinegar will become yellowish in color. Now, the minute you're going to add baking soda. So what are my two reactants? My two reactants are vinegar and baking soda. These two are my reactants, the chemicals that are reacting. So we call them as reactants. These two reactants are going to react. There's going to be a chemical reaction that will happen between them. And whatever is being produced is what you will be able to see. So I don't want to tell you what is going to happen, that you have to tell me what is going to happen one by one. Once you are ready with the setup, so what you will require, require glass, vinegar, baking soda, and just for safety measure, please keep a small tray when you're doing this, or you can put a plastic sheet below wherever you're performing the experiment. Once you're ready with this setup, please tell me that it is ready. Okay? Yes? So whoever is ready with this setup, you are going to switch on your mics and switch on your videos and tell me that, ma'am, I'm ready. So we all will pin ourselves to your video and we'll see what you are doing. So in the video, we want to see the experiment, what you are performing. Okay? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, ready.
Yes. Okay, so I have got Amruta Shah who said she's ready. Correct? Correct, Amruta?
No, ma'am, this is ready. Manish Agarwal.
Okay, Manish Agarwal. There's Manish Agarwal who said who's ready. So we'll pin ourselves to Manish Agarwal's screen and we'll see. Please switch on your video, Manish Agarwal. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
it's come bubbles and sounds.
Okay, but we wanted to see it. See how Riddhi is doing it. You can all see in her screens. There is Manish Agarwal's this video. Please pin yourself to that so you can see what is happening. We can't see the screens. See, now she is adding vinegar. See, to the glass she is adding Vinegar.
It's not happening properly. I tried it. I put vinegar and then baking soda, but only little happened.
Nothing happened.
No, ma'am. Only a few bubbles came and some sound came. Nothing else.
Yes. That is only what has to happen, no? What else will happen? You will see bubbles coming, bubbles and sound. Yes? Okay. Who else did it?
Ma'am, I.
Yes. So we have Batul Nalwala, right? Please
Yes,
switch on your video so we can see it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is the glass.
Okay, but Batul, we can't see your experiment.
Ma'am, now?
You'll have no. You'll have to put it really down.
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Can you ask someone to catch the thing for you while you perform it?
Yes, ma'am, 1 minute.
Yeah. Someone else is ready. Till Batul is finding someone to catch. To adjust.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, Jinansh. Okay, Jinansh, switch on your video.
Excuse me, ma'am, I'm ready. My name is Suhani.
Okay, wait. So we'll first see Jinansh. He's doing the experiment. Yes, Jinansh, please show us. The video is again and again going off.
Ma'am, I have added already
Yeah.
baking soda, and now I have to add vinegar. Ma'am, so there is a hissing sound, and bubbles are coming up.
Yes, bubbles are coming up, and you can hear the
And
hissing sound. You can hear. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Ma'am,
Okay,
yellow color
good one.
bubbles are popping.
Okay, very good. Who's next? Who said who's ready next?
Ma'am Suhani.
Ha, Soni, show us.
Ma'am, can you see this?
Yes,
This
we
is
can.
the glass,
Yes, we
and
can see
I'm
that.
adding with cup of vinegar in it. Ma'am, I've added in vinegar, and now I'm adding in baking soda. Ma'am, this is the baking soda.
Yes.
Ma'am, I've added in the baking soda.
Yes,
and
we
the
can hear the sound. Yes, we can hear the sound. Up to here, we can hear the sound. We can hear the sound also, and we can also see the bubbles coming. Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Chalo.
Ma'am, now can I start?
Yes, yes. Now we'll pin ourselves to Batul.
Ma'am, is this okay now?
No, Batul, we actually can't see. Can you take the glass in your hand?
Yes.
Yes, yes, that is better. So we'll be able to see it.
I'm going to add vinegar.
Yes.
And then
Can we, one second, Batul, just wait. Farida, can we ask her to put the candle so that it'll be a little different?
Yeah, but sandal setup, we'll have to give them photographs in advance how to do it.
Um, we can just tell her to put the candle in, just hold it, no? Will it be possible?
No, she's added too much of vinegar. Won't be possible.
Okay. Okay, fine, sir.
Batul, that is too much of vinegar, huh? Please reduce the vinegar half quantity. That's too much vinegar. You know, your entire thing will spill over.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Then I am going to add baking soda.
Catch the glass. Oh, yes, we could see it. Yes, yes, we saw that entire flow like a volcano. Very good.
I'm not, ma'am, I'm not able to see what Batul is doing.
Oh, sorry, you missed it. Now she won't be able to do it again. Now if somebody else sees it, does it, you can see it. Okay?
Ma'am, I'm only seeing your screen.
You're seeing my screen.
Probably he would have pinned to
Yes.
KitKat only. That's why.
I've been telling that you pin to. I'm specifically telling the name also to whom to pin to when the experiment is being done. Okay. You did it, right? Shrikant, you did it, no, yourself?
Yes.
Yes. You saw the bubbles and the sound. You could hear the sound, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, anyone else left? Can we move ahead? Okay, so we'll go ahead with the presentation.
Yes.
Very, very good to all of y'all who have performed the experiment. Whoever is still left, y'all can do it at your home whenever the class is over also. Okay, if you don't wish to show us, you can do it when the class is also over. Okay, so we'll move to the presentation. Now to again view the presentation, you have to go back and pin yourself to KitKat Lab screen. Okay, so we'll pin ourselves to KitKat Lab screen again. And there is Anita Nair. Please switch off your microphone. Okay. Anita, please switch off your microphone. Okay. So we'll go to our next slide where the entire explanation is given for this. So what did we observe? We observed lots and lots of bubbles. Okay. See, vinegar, can you see the formula of vinegar? CH3COOH, that is vinegar. Okay. Baking soda was NaHCO3. Can you see the chemical formula of both the reactants? Now when they are reacting, they are forming three different products. They are forming CH3COONA, they are forming plus water, that is H2O, plus they are forming the gas, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, so they are forming the gas carbon dioxide, which came out as bubbles, and what you could hear the hissing sound, you could hear that sound. Okay, whenever we see carbon dioxide, you can also say bubbles, or you could also say effervescence. You know, the chemical name for bubbles of carbon dioxide is also called as effervescence. Okay, I am just putting that word in the chat. Whenever you're free, you can see it. Effervescence. Okay, so formation of bubbles are seen. You can see how the formula is changing. CH3COOH has changed and become CH3COONA. The chemical formula has changed. Okay, we are getting H2O also from somewhere, and we're getting CO2 also from somewhere. Means the reactants are rearranging themselves and the new chemicals are being formed. Okay, and in that, what you can identify is carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide that you can identify is by the formation of the bubbles. Okay, so this is what is the first change, that is change in, that is you can see the um, formation of bubbles, you can see. Okay, so now this is what is the first sign of chemical reaction. Yes, are you all clear with this first sign of chemical reaction? Yes. Now
Yes,
we'll go to the, very good. Now we'll go to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
next. Very good. We'll go to the next type. Okay. The next type is production of light. Okay. Whenever there is light being produced in any type of a reaction because of burning, because of light, because of um, uh, because of any reaction between any burn, any type of a flame, is what you called as a production of light change. Okay, give me, every one of you are going to tell me, where is it that you see lots of light when you burn something? Come on, tell me.
I'm on this gas.
Ma'am,
Gas.
matchstick, coal.
Very good. Yes, gas stove, matchstick. Next.
Magnesium strips.
Magnesium strip. There is one chemical called as magnesium. When you burn it, this is exactly what you will be able to see, like the picture. What else? You all
Ma'am,
are
when
forgetting.
Ma'am,
Huh?
firecrackers.
Yeah, you all forgot that. Firecrackers. Firecrackers, you see lots and lots of light being produced. Lots and lots of light, correct? So, whatever is happening in the firecrackers are chemical reactions.
fire.
Yes, even fire. So whatever you're seeing in the chemical, whatever you're seeing in the firecrackers is what is happening inside is when you light it. When you're lighting it either with a candle, means with fire, or with matchstick, there is a chemical reaction that continuously takes place. So because of that chemical reaction, what is produced is light, and what is we enjoy. Correct? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now, very good. So now we'll go to the next slide. Okay, you can see on the right side, what is there on the right side, you can see the small video out there. You can see a magnesium ribbon. You can see the magnesium metal. See, and when you put it near the fire, where it is kept near the candle, when you are seeing it, you can burn it, and you can see lots and lots of light, white color light being produced. Okay, so this chemical is also present, magnesium chemical, in your firecrackers, which gives it the bright white color light. So whenever your firecrackers are being made, along with other chemicals, they also put magnesium so that a white bright light is seen. So this is how production of light will tell you that a chemical reaction has taken place. So all the examples that you gave me, that when you're switching on your burner, your gas stove burner, or when you're lighting a matchstick, so whenever you're rubbing the matchstick, a chemical reaction has taken place there. Whenever you're switching on your burner, there also a chemical reaction has taken place. And that is how you identify with production of light. Next slide. So see, here we are seeing light. We see light. And what was the chemical formula of magnesium? It was Mg. Okay. Mg, when we burnt it, whenever I say burning, remember this, burning means when you are reacting it with oxygen. So there are different names of burning. When I say burning, it also means oxidation. It also means combustion. All these words are similar. It means that you are reacting your whatever reactant with oxygen. So it can be reaction with oxygen. The other name for it is oxidation. The other name for it is combustion. And the other name for it is burning. So you say burning with oxygen. You can also say oxidation. You can also say combustion. Okay, these are all same. I've typed it in, you can see it later. They are all same. Okay, so this whenever a burning reaction is taking place, if it is producing light, you say a chemical reaction has taken place. It is a sign for a chemical reaction. And you see this in your matchsticks, you can see it in your fireworks. We can't really do this kind of a reaction. I don't want to expose you all to, even lighting a matchstick also. So we are not doing anything related to this. Okay, I don't want you to even light a matchstick right now. Okay, but whenever you are free and you've got some elder next to you, sitting next to you, you can try and you can light up a matchstick. The minute you light up a matchstick, you will see light being produced, and that is because a chemical change took place on the top of your matchstick. On the top of your matchstick, there are some chemicals. The matchsticks are sometimes red color top or black color top. Okay, and when you're rubbing it against something, friction is produced, and because of that friction, what is happening is that light is produced. A chemical reaction is starting out there. Okay, so this is how it is. If we were in a lab, unlike the situation right now because of COVID, we would have been able to show you this magnesium burning in our lab very well. Okay. Okay, so first sign said production of gas. We experimented it also. The second sign is light, which you have seen it in firecrackers. You have seen it when you light up a matchstick also. These two signs are clear with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, very good. So now we'll go to our next sign. The third sign. Okay. The third sign is change in temperature. Okay. Now to know the change in temperature, you can do two things. Okay. You can either put your hands so you can feel something hot. Before hot, you will feel something warm. From warm, then it will become hot. Or you can feel something cool, or you can feel something cold. Okay, so that is where you are using your sense of touch. Okay, or the other instrument that we use to measure temperature is called as a, what do we use to measure temperature?
Thermometer.
Thermometer.
Very good, thermometer. So we can use a thermometer also. We have told you all to get thermometers today for doing this experiment. If you don't have a digital thermometer, I don't want you all to use mercury ones, because the mercury ones that we have, the olden ones, they have a limited temperature range. They are only built for a human body temperature, that is up to 42 to 45. If the temperature goes more than that, it can burst, and mercury is poisonous. So we don't want you to experiment with mercury thermometers. Only if you have digital thermometers, use them. If you don't have digital thermometers, you can just simply put your finger inside the reaction. Nothing will happen to your finger. You will feel something hot, you will feel something cold. Yes?
Ma'am, I have a digital thermometer.
Yes, if you have a digital
Excuse me,
thermometer,
ma'am.
well and good. Yes,
What do we have to do with the digital thermometer?
I will tell you. Wait, hold on. Okay. Right now, just pin yourself to KitKat Lab, and I want to see the presentation. Okay. So, the important point is, whenever a chemical reaction is taking place, just simply a chemical reaction cannot take place. Okay. For the chemical reaction to occur, there is a requirement of energy. Okay, so always, like we saw that magnesium reacted with oxygen and it became MgO. Okay, so a new thing is formed. So your magnesium had to break some bonds and make some new bonds. In chemistry, this is a rule. You always break bonds, you always make bonds. Okay, that is a rule. Now to do that, you need energy. Okay, so that energy will be given by heat. Okay, now that heat sometimes is given out or heat is taken in. Okay, if sometimes you're breaking a bond, certain types of bonds when you break, they give out heat. When you're making certain bonds, they take in heat. So in that process, if you're giving heat outside, the whole temperature, the whole reaction mixture becomes hot. Okay, so when the heat is given out, you can see in that box, when heat is released, the temperature is going to become high, it is going to become hotter, and because of that, you call it as exo. Exo means outside. So you call those kind of reaction as exothermic. So all the combustion reactions, all the burning reactions, all the oxidation reactions are compulsorily exothermic reactions. So all the cooking that happens in your house on the burner are all exothermic reactions. Okay, all the because of the burner being burnt, the burner that is burning, the firecrackers that are burning, all of those are called as exothermic reactions. Okay, now as opposed to that, you go to the next block, the smaller one. If sometimes because of the bond being broken or bond formation, if heat is absorbed inside, means from surrounding the heat is absorbed inside, what happens is the temperature of the surroundings will cool down. The temperature of the surroundings will go down. And so you will observe that your reaction mixture has become cooler. And because of it becoming cooler, you call such reaction endothermic reaction. Okay, because endo means inside. So you say endothermic reactions. Okay, so example of it is dissolving salt in water. Now, dissolving salt in water, I will give you a point, is not a chemical reaction. It is just a physical reaction. But to identify it very easily without any harm, we are using this as a way of understanding the endo and exothermic reaction. But dissolving salt in water is not a chemical reaction. It is only a physical reaction. Okay. So whenever you're dissolving salt in water, heat is taken in, so the temperature becomes less. Okay. So is exo and endo clear? Exo means whenever heat is given out, so your temperature becomes hotter. Endo means whenever heat is taken in, so the temperature becomes cooler. Is the concept clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay, now
ma'am.
we'll go to the next slide. I told no, combustion means reaction with oxygen.
Okay, ma'am.
Either you are reacting with oxygen, you say burning, or you say oxidation, they are all same. Whenever you are reacting with oxygen, you call it combustion. Whenever you are reacting with oxygen, you call it oxidation. Whenever you are burning something, you call it combustion. So they all different names, but they all mean the same. Burning. Whenever I say burning, in the reaction, compulsorily oxygen has to come into the picture. Okay, next slide. Okay, so for carrying out the endothermic reaction, what are you going to do? You will first take half a glass of water. In that, you're going to put your thermometers, if you have, and measure the temperature. Okay, after measuring the temperature, now we are going to add 5 to 6 spoons of salt and mix it. Okay, after mixing, after the entire salt getting dissolved, probably some might not dissolve, some might just stay settled down, it's okay. Now you're going to again insert your thermometers back into the glass and you will again check the temperatures. And you are going to tell me what is the difference in the temperature before adding salt and after adding salt. Okay, so for this, you all need not switch on your videos. You all can just perform it. After performing the experiment, you all can tell me the result. Okay, so it is 10:46. I'll give you approximately 5 minutes to do this. In 5 minutes, you all have to take a glass of water. I'll repeat it again. Take a glass of water. In that, fill half water you're going to fill it. With a thermometer, you're going to measure it. After measuring the temperature, remove the thermometer, put 5 to 6 spoons of salt, mix it well. After mixing, wait for a minute and again insert the thermometer. After inserting the thermometer, you're going to tell me what is the temperature. Okay, if you all don't have digital thermometers, simply use your hand. You will come to know the difference when you put your hand that the water has become more hotter or the water has become more cooler. Okay, so it's 47. I'll give you time till 51. Start forming it.
Ma'am, I did it with my finger.
You did it with your finger. What happened? What result you got?
Ma'am, first when the water was there, it was not as cold as the salt solution.
Okay, and after
Excuse
adding,
me, ma'am. Ma'am, due to the internet connection issue, I just left the call. Can you please tell what did you say?
I said take a glass of water, half a glass of water, put your thermometer into it, check the temperature. After that, add 5 to 6 spoons of salt, dissolve it well with a spoon. Again, measure the temperature and tell me what is the difference before and after adding the salt.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, the temperature of the water with salt is cooler than the temperature of the normal water.
okay.
I
Did you
checked
measure
with my
it?
hand.
Okay, you didn't check it with thermometer?
No, ma'am, I thought it might get spoiled, so I did it with my hand.
Okay, no problem. Chalo, everyone else, I've got 2 answers. Chalo, last. More people answering.
Ma'am, is it so that when we have fever, our parents put in cold water they put a lot of salt and then do putty over our head. So is it so that salt makes the water cooler? That's why they do that.
Excuse
Sorry,
me,
can you
ma'am. In
repeat?
my thermometer.
One second. Suhani, Manish Agarwal, she's just speaking. I just wanted to get her point clear. Can you just repeat again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when we have fever, our parents do putty. So in the water from which they do putty, they put a lot of salt and in water. Is it so
Yes.
that
Yes, so that it can
salt
absorb the heat. It can absorb the heat from our body. Yes, exactly. That is the correct reasoning. Yes, Suhani, now you can tell me what were you.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes,
is
Suhani.
this the reason because the water of the sea is cooler than normal tap water?
Could be. I really don't have an answer to that. I have not noticed that. I have not noticed that the tap water is more hotter than the sea water. I have not really noticed that. That could be a reason. Could be, probably, but not really. I cannot really tell you a proper answer right now. Okay? I will have to check it and let you know. Suhani, you're still telling me your result.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Excuse me, ma'am.
One second. Let Jinansh let Suhani speak. She's been trying to speak for a very long time.
Ma'am, I was telling that I've put my digital thermometer into the normal water. It's coming LO. LO
Lot.
fever, something is coming.
Yeah, so your thermometer is either not working or it's still not detecting it. You have to keep it for more time.
Okay,
The
ma'am.
LO means it's still detecting it. Okay, Jinansh, what were you saying?
Ma'am, I was also trying to say the same because my thermometer is also showing yellow. It is a digital clinical thermometer and it works perfectly for human bodies, but in the salt solution, it keeps buzzing and it shows yellow.
Okay, so leave the digital thermometers. Okay, you can try it with your hand. Best thing, try it with your hand. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So I want everyone to tell me fast. It's 10:52. I've got only 4 or 5 people telling me the results. Everyone else, please tell me the results. Where are others? Who? Why are they not speaking? Okay. No one is giving me answers. I will have to go to the next slide. Yes? Only the ones who did it. The others are not replying. There is, who is there? Amrita Shah, Batul Nalwala, Deval, Komal Barania, Pinto Oswal,
Ma'am,
Shrikant Kudle. You all are not performing and telling me the result.
ma'am, I don't have the digital thermometer.
So try it with your hand, I told you. Try it with your hand.
Okay, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am, with the digital thermometer in the salt and water both, it's coming LO, and when I tried it with my finger, it's in both, I'm feeling the water cold.
You're feeling the water cool, no? Okay, very good. So by adding salt water, this reaction is called as endothermic reaction because the heat was taken inside while the mixing of salt happened in water. Okay, I'm again telling you mixing of salt water is not a chemical reaction, it is a physical change. But just because we can't really do it with chemicals, we are giving you this simple one that you can identify an endothermic and exothermic reaction. Clear with this?
Yeah, it's cold.
Mixing,
It's cold. It's cold.
it's cold. Okay, remember this, salt in water is not a chemical reaction, it is a physical change. But the change what we want to see that it is becoming endothermic reaction is what we can see. So we are doing this experiment. Clear? Yes, this is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I tried it with my finger and the salt water was cold as compared to the normal water.
Very good, very good. Okay, now we'll go to the next slide. In the next slide, we'll talk about exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction is when the heat goes up. Exothermic, okay, danger, exothermic. And for this setup, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same setup. You'll take glass of water, half, okay, and after adding half glass of water, instead of adding salt like you added 5 to 6 spoons of salt, now you'll add 5 to 6 spoons of detergent, any detergent that is available in your house, the detergent you use to wash your clothes. Okay, so do that and you'll let me know the result. Correct? You'll know the process. Only instead of salt, now you're going to add detergent. And again, put your finger and tell me what is going to happen. Clear? Everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I tried the experiment and the detergent water was warm.
Warm, right? Okay, so this is
Yes,
which kind of a reaction? Batul, tell me which kind of reaction is this?
um,
Exothermic.
Exothermic reaction. Because the heat was given out, the reaction mixture became hotter.
Ma'am, in
Okay,
the
yes?
digital thermometer, it's coming 98.6.
98.6. Okay. After it. Chalo, chalo, fast.
98.1. 98.1.
After
ma'am,
adding,
Af-
ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, the detergent water is hotter than the normal water.
Very good. So it is what reaction, Sharanya?
Ma'am, exothermic.
Very good. Chalo, fast, fast. Everyone else also to reply fast.
Ma'am, the digital
It is a bit hotter than the normal water.
Hotter, right? So I'm
Ma'am,
very
yes,
sure.
ma'am, hotter.
when I added first time when I added detergent and water, I mixed it, there are water bubbles coming, foam bubbles.
Okay, those bubbles are not the bubbles that we are talking about the reaction. Okay, that is just the normal the bubbles because of the detergent. The detergent has the property to produce soapy texture. Okay, so that is the property of detergent. Okay, so that bubbles are not a sign of a chemical reaction. Those are just because of the soapy nature of the detergent. Okay,
Ma'am,
y'all have made this detergent water.
yes, ma'am.
Y'all can definitely reuse it. Don't throw it. You can use it for washing some things you can wash it.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll go to the next slide. So we identify the temperature change. If something is cooler, you call it endothermic. If something is hotter, you call it exothermic.
ma'am, I tried the reaction. In the normal water, it was
Yes.
showing yellow, whereas in the detergent
Huh?
water, it was showing 98.6.
Okay. So probably the digital thermometer was also not able to detect the normal temperature. Probably it was lower than that, but it was detecting the warmer temperature.
Ma'am, I also put my
Okay.
finger. So the water was very
Hmm.
cold, but now the detergent is warm.
It's warm. Okay, good one. Okay, so that is what temperature change. The first change we saw was production of gas. Second change we saw production of light. And third change we saw was temperature change. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go to the next slide. We'll go to the next change.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now next change is again something which I cannot really tell you all to do because it will not happen immediately also. But for that, what are you going to do? You must be having a small nail at your house, a small iron nail. Okay, so you all are going to put it in water, half in water and half open to the air. Okay, after a certain time, you will observe that rust will develop on the nail. You've seen the color of the rust? Have you seen the color of the rust? What is the color of the rust?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it is reddish
ma'am,
brown.
it's brownish
Yes,
black.
and what is the color of the nail? What is the color of the nail?
Ma'am, silver. Grayer, silver.
Yes. So there was a color change, correct? So the color change will tell you whether a chemical reaction has happened or not. On the left side, you can see that there are two test tubes with the reactants, one yellow and one transparent. Both of them are reacting together. The right side test tube, you can see a reddish color substance being happening. So that was the product. That told us that a reaction has taken place, a chemical reaction has taken place. Similar way, in the next picture, you can see that there is a nail kind of a material. Okay, it's not nail, means it's a metal. Metal is there. In that metal, you're adding some chemical, some transparent chemical. The minute you do that, the color reaction changes and it becomes blue in color. So whenever the color is going to change, you say the chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. Now, like I told you, iron rust, it is a chemical reaction. Okay. But there are few changes in which there are few physical changes in which the color is changing. Okay. For example, if in white color paint you are adding black color paint, it becomes gray color. That is not chemical change. Okay, that is a physical change. You can't say that is a chemical change. Okay. If supposing you are taking paint and putting it on your walls, you're putting paint on your walls. Your wall first it was yellow in color. Now you're putting red color paint. That does not mean that is a chemical change. Okay, that is still a physical change. Okay, so every time you cannot say that a color change has happened, so it is a chemical change. Yes, when a chemical reaction is taking place in front of you, you can identify a chemical change taking place. One very easy example for you to identify a chemical change is this is the season of the king of the fruits, mango. Yes, and we get at home mangoes. What do? We get little bit yellow ones and little bit green ones. Okay, so the green ones are called as they are raw. Okay, so from raw they become ripe, they ripen, and that process of ripening is called as a chemical change. And so you can see the green color is now becoming yellowish or orangish. Okay, if after some time that greenish or yellowish color, if that mango is not eaten, if that mango is not eaten, okay, and just left like that for another 1-2 weeks, it will become black. It will become black in color. So the minute it becomes black in color, you say that it has rot. The fruits have rot. So that rotting is again a chemical change. The rotting is again a chemical change, and you can visibly see it. So from green to yellow, chemical change, ripening, and from ripening to rotting, that is from yellow to orangish color, it becomes blackish color, the rotting color, that is also a chemical change. Okay, is this clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we are in
Yes,
labs,
ma'am.
whenever we are in labs, we do a lot of these chemical changes reaction. You can see lots of chemicals we have, and we can mix many chemicals, and we can do it. Okay, at home, difficult to get some chemicals. So for the best example is you can see unripe fruit getting it ripe. That is also a chemical change. That is a color change. Okay. Next, an example of the color change is the Statue of Liberty. You know that the Statue of Liberty is green in color? Yes, but actually it wasn't green in color. The Statue of Liberty is made up of copper. You know what is the color of copper? You have got lot of vessels in your house that are copper based. You know, the bottom of the
Ma'am,
vessels are
orangish
copper.
brown.
Yes. So what
Orangish
happens to
brown.
so what happens that copper starts reacting with the uh, oxygen and the water present in the atmosphere, the oxygen and the water vapor present in the atmosphere. and because of that, the color changed to green color. So actually, the Statue of Liberty was actually gifted to USA by France, and it was somewhere around 1886. So we are talking somewhere around like 130, 140 years ago. Okay, and because of the reaction copper had with the atmospheric substances, that is oxygen and water, whatever, it turned into the green color that it is today. Okay, we'll go to the reaction of it. Next page. So this is what it is. Copper is reacting with oxygen, with carbon dioxide, and with water vapor in the atmosphere. Okay, plus it is very near to the water body also. The Statue of Liberty is right in the middle of the water body also. So there's a lot of water out there. Also, the water vapor content is very high. The humidity is very high out there. So what it became was, the reaction happened and the chemical change that took place was CuOH twice it became, that is copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So copper carbonate is what is green in color, what we can see the entire surface of the Statue of Liberty. Okay, so that is your color change, permanent color change. Okay, clear? So fourth change is color change. First change is production of gas. Second change is production of light. Third change is temperature change, hot or cold. If it is hot, it is exothermic. If it is cold, it is endothermic. And the fourth one will be a permanent color change. Now we'll go to the fifth chain. The fifth chain is what we called as formation of precipitate. Okay. So what happens is that whenever two reacting substances are reacting, okay, and when they are reacting, say liquid A and liquid B was reacting, okay, liquid A and liquid B is reacting. There is liquid A and liquid B. They both are, we are mixing them together. Once you mix them together, what is produced is liquid C and solid A. Okay. Now that solid and liquid are not miscible in each other. They are not soluble in each other. So the solid that you can see will come down as a lump. And that lump is what we call as precipitate. You can also call it short form as PPT. In chemistry short form we write. Not the PPT that you're seeing, we call it precipitate short form PPT. So this precipitate is what we can identify a chemical change has taken place. So in all the four reactions, you can see different color of precipitate. You can see a cream color, you can see a yellow color, you can see a orangish color, you can see a white color precipitate, a gelatinous precipitate. All different types of precipitates happen, and depending on their density, they will settle down to the bottom of your reacting flask or reacting test tube or in whatever you're reacting. So that will fall down, okay, and that is what we call as precipitate. Correct? So when this happens, you say that a chemical reaction has taken place. So we'll go to an example of it. Here there is sodium hydroxide. Initially, the transparent what you saw in the video was sodium hydroxide. And in that tube, that small tube that we are adding silver nitrate. So these are the two reaction mixtures that we are adding. First in the test tube there is sodium hydroxide, and then you are adding silver nitrate. Now the minute you are adding silver nitrate, you can see a brown color, a chocolatey brown color precipitate is formed. This is what you call it as a precipitate, and you say a chemical reaction has taken place. The fifth sign of chemical reaction, a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay, someone wants me to explain the precipitate again. If I have got two liquids, liquid A and liquid B, okay, I'm reacting both the liquids together. The product that is formed are two products. One product is a liquid, one product is a solid. Now, this liquid and this solid, they are not soluble in each other. They are not mixing in each other. So what will happen, the solid that is there will be visible properly because it is not soluble in the liquid, right? So it will come down as a whole lump together. And that lump together that comes down because it is very heavy in density would be called as a precipitate. Okay, and this is exactly what you can see in the video. So we took two liquids, sodium hydroxide, silver nitrate, and the minute they mix, even sodium hydroxide is also transparent and silver nitrate is also transparent. You can see in the pipe, that small pipe that is coming, it is transparent only liquid. And before also it is transparent liquid. But the minute they are reacting, they are forming such a solid which is brown in color. So that's what we call as precipitate. Okay, next slide. This is the reaction what we see. Sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH, which is reacting with silver nitrate, AgNO3, when they are reacting. So now what is the product being formed? NaNO3, sodium nitrate. You can see the whole chemical formula has changed, and AgOH. So AgOH is what you can see that is precipitating down. The sodium nitrate is actually in the liquid form, and the AgOH, that is silver hydroxide, is in the muddy form, the muddy brown precipitate form, and you can see it settling down. So formation of precipitate is also an indication of a chemical reaction. Okay? Yes? So now we did five signs of chemical reaction. The first one, come on, who's going to tell me the first sign of chemical reaction?
Ma'am, production of gas.
Very good, production of gas. Now somebody else will tell me the second sign of chemical reaction. Which was the second one we did? Chalo, you all were listening now properly? You all understood now?
Ma'am, change of color.
Change in color. Okay, change in color. Next. Third one. Third one. Chalo, fast. Not the person who has answered. Not the person who has answered. Two people have answered. I don't want them to answer. I want someone else to answer.
Temperature change.
What? What? Can you repeat it? I can't hear you. Can you repeat it once more?
Ma'am, change temperature.
Change in temperature. Change in temperature. Okay, very good. Chalo, fourth one. Fourth change.
Ma'am, change in color.
Change in color was given. Change in color is given. Other one.
Ma'am, and now precipitate.
Precipitate. Yes, precipitate. If you see precipitate. One more is left.
Ma'am, may I tell?
Okay.
Ma'am, production of light.
Production of light, yes. Okay. So we have got production of gas, production of light, temperature change, color change, and production of precipitate. Okay, three things being produced and two changes. Which are the three things that are being produced? One is gas, one is light, one is precipitate, and two things change, that is temperature change and color change. Okay, clear? Next slide.
Yes.
Okay, so we have come to the end of this session today. I hope that the session was well understood and you remember the 5 changes and you enjoyed also performing the experiment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions? Anybody related to anything?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, you all understood everything. So now shall I ask questions? But you all don't answer when I ask questions. See,
Sure, ma'am.
see, there is no answer when I say that I will ask question. Nobody answering that.
Yeah, I will.
You will.
Ma'am, even
Ma'am,
I.
even I.
You will answer. Okay. You have to tell me true or false. Okay. Exothermic reaction is when heat is taken in.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
false.
False. Okay. Okay. The burning of cracker is a physical change.
false.
Ma'am, false.
False.
Okay. Mixing of salt in water is a physical change.
True.
Ma'am,
Yes.
true.
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 True. Okay. And mm, mm, um, change in color is a sign of a chemical reaction.
True.
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 True. Okay.
True.
Um, okay. And one more I will ask. Production of bubble is not a sign of chemical reaction.
False.
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 A chemical change means the formula remains the same.
False.
False.
False. False.
Okay. You know if a chemical reaction has taken place if here the option. If there is change in color, if there is change in temperature, or both of these.
Both of these.
Okay.
Both of these.
Okay.
Both of these, ma'am.
Okay. In my container A, the temperature was 35 degrees. In my container B, in my container A, after the reaction, the temperature became 40 degrees. This is a endothermic reaction.
Ma'am, exothermic.
True.
Who said true?
Ma'am, it's false.
Who said true? Who
It's
said
false.
from
Ma'am, it is
35
false.
it became 40, na? 35 it became 40. So the
Ma'am, it is
temperature.
false.
Yes, it is false. Okay.
Ma'am,
Very
it is
good.
false.
Okay. Okay, very good. So I'm very sure you all have understood the concepts well, and you all can also again do the experiments if you wish to, especially the bubble ones. You can definitely do it, try it again, and let us know how do you like the
Yes,
session.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.